Hey guys, this is What If here. It's time to talk about the Bristol races this weekend, and usually I don't always talk about like all three series, but for this we'll make an exception because literally so, so little happened in the Cup race in terms of like the racing aspect. We gotta talk about other series just to make this video not like 3 minutes long, but the truck series was very mid. Very average. A great feel-good story for Ty Majeski. Again, the Fox broadcast has been atrocious this year, which is nothing new. And they were the previous week at like Kansas, like they didn't even know like Eckes was gaining spots. Like they couldn't even know they weren't even able to keep track of the points right. So it's just like, which is pathetic because like this is like on some like 1992 championship points shit where like they were counting things down by hand. Like it's almost on that level of like just incompetence. Well, the 92 is different because of the lack of technology, but just this is just sad. Yeah, it was just. But the biggest issue is the broadcaster's doing a shit job, and Brockbeer brought a fantastic point. He mentioned this in his stream, and I didn't know a whole lot about this time. Just that he was part of the Alan Quickie Racing like training program thing, and obviously I didn't know that significance, and I didn't know. I guess after the race was over, I was just like, all right, well, that was meh. So then I turned the race off. And I didn't see anything else. I heard on Twitter people were booing him because he wasn't doing a burnout, and which is just stupid in general. But the broadcaster did a shit job of explaining the significance of why he chose to do that. Because, Alec Quickie, like, he died the week they were going to, Bristol in 93. He was part of the Quickie, training program thing. So, of course, that's going to be pretty significant to Ty Majeski. So, that's pretty cool. That's awesome. But the broadcasters failed to even bring that up, or they failed to really kind of go into just the struggles he went through. He was part of the people that were in that 60 car in the Xfinity series, like Chase Briscoe and Cindric, that just did horrendous. But those two ended up kind of getting into the Cup series, and Ty Majeski kind of got screwed out of that. But just terrible, just awful broadcasting, awful job of just trying to convey a moment. Just makes the series worse when you have this type of. Oh, it was awful. The Xfinity series was good for the most part, except for the fact that Gregson bumped Ty Gibbs, which inadvertently wrecked Sheldon Creed, and now he's out of the playoffs. And imagine if he actually had a chance to contend for the win. But, oh no, Kyle Larson had to interfere and ruin that. So that was good job on Larson. That was just stupid. So feel bad for him. He got screwed big time. Also, tire wear seemed to be non-existent. Like all weekend, it felt like, I don't know. It's just Gregson was able to win the race on 110 lap old tires, which is embarrassing and sad. And every week, it's been miserable watching him win in bullshit races, in bullshit circumstances. Darlington, he got fortunate that everybody else was stupid in front of him. Kansas was rained, so that doesn't count. And then this one, a race where he logically shouldn't have won because he stayed out on 90 lap old tires, but everybody else just sucked. The field should be embarrassed they couldn't pass him. That was sad. Brandon Jones couldn't pass him because he sucks, which is nothing new, but it's just. So that was just aggravating. The Cup Series. Oh, Jesus Christ. Where do I begin with this? It's so many problems. If this was like 2002 or 2012, maybe all these tire issues, power steering issues, drivetrains, toe links, whatever, that could be just attributed to just, the attrition. But when it's a spec series now, when this just, it's like everyone was having problems to some capacity, except for the Chevys, which is interesting. but just so many cars had just a comical amount of issues. All the Gibbs cars. Oh my god, all the Gibbs cars. Penske. It's just multiple different cars had some form of issues. And the racing was just shit. We had 2 green flag passes for the lead the whole race. And one of those 2 was because Brad was leading, had a tire go down, and that's how there was a lead change. All the lead change passes were made during the pit stops under yellow. That was the highlight of the race, was the pit road battle, because that was the only passing for the race lead. Once things settled out in like the first 5 laps, like no one could pass. This short track package is such ass that this makes me, like I've been saying, this makes me worried for North Wilkesboro for the All-Star race, because if we go there and the racing is going to be just trash, then that could just squander all the potential of that track ever getting a cup date again. And it's not going to be the track's fault. It's going to be the bullshit cars and the awful package. Horrendous race in terms of just the racing product. Horrendous in terms of just parts just lasting. Like, cars could barely go 40 laps in a run without something just exploding. I don't know what the hell the blame is. Some people are saying it's Goodyear. Some people are saying it's not. I don't know what it is, but all I know it's bad. This should not happen to this extreme. All 23XI cars died on the same lap. That's weird. So, especially when it's a spec series and everything, if there's an issue, almost everyone's gonna get it. If there's no issues, then it's fine. But this season has been a mix of the best racing ever in the last 20 years to some of the worst. It's just, last week was so good at Kansas, so good. Granted, we still had some tire issues, but it wasn't like this. But it's just, these short tracks are just terrible, or just awful. It's amazing. Just, I don't even know what, it was just, if it wasn't for all the tire failures, all the mechanical things, this race would be probably worse than Martinsville. But because of those issues, it made it interesting. I don't know if that's a good thing, but at least it made me go, my eyebrow raised a little bit. So I don't know what to even give this, a 2.5? It was just such a shit show with these problems, and I don't and poor Kyle Busch got completely cucked out of the system from 2 blown up motors. I didn't even mention almost all of Gibbs had some kind of issues with tires. Christopher Bell, Truex, Kyle, Hamlin, all so many that I can't chalk it down to maybe a it just seems it's just way too much happening with that. So I don't know. It was just gross. This season has been such a whiplash of just greatness, and then just boom, just shit. And then this was one of those weeks, and it was just brutal. And it's I don't know. Phoenix is going to come down to one of the championship 4 blowing up, and that's going to screw them out of the championship because of something completely out of their control. Which is almost as if racing, in and of itself, is unpredictable. So then when you Frankenstein a format that encourages, it's a mess. I don't even know what to say. It was rough to watch. The only thing was just the tire failures, all the weird things happening, made it interesting, but not in a good way. The Bristol. God damn, Bristol's just been mutilated with this car. That's just sad. I mean, if no one could pass, dirty air was a problem. I mean, it was just awful. I don't even know what to say. That's the theme of the video. I don't know what to say. It was just bad. I mentioned all the points. I'm reiterating the same things. I've run out of things to talk about. That's why I was mentioning the other series, because the Cup Series was so just blunt and just bad, and just what was wrong. And it sucks. Like, it makes me it was just gross. I hated it. It was just, my phone's blooping because the NASCAR is gonna want to, take me to jail for this opinion. But I'm happy for Buescher. I'm really glad he was able to get a win. He's been good this year, so I don't got a problem with that. I'm really happy for him. He's had a wild year, considering the 2 years he gets a win were in the same season where he flipped. He flipped at Talladega in 2016, ends up winning at Pocono. 2022 now, he wins at Bristol, but earlier in the year he flipped at Charlotte, of all places. But yeah, this season's been such a mixed bag. Like, it's been, when it's good, it's really good, but when it's bad, it is really bad. And this was, I'm rearing the same points. A 2.5. Maybe it would have been lower. Might have been a 2. But I think I gave Martinsville like a 2. So, I don't know. I'm sure my number rating has been all inconsistent. But, yeah, this was just 2 passes for the lead the whole race. Green flag passes for the lead. And when Brad made that pass for the lead, that was on the 385th lap of a 500 lap race. The most exciting thing of the race should not be the race off pit road. Well, maybe it shouldn't, because then once, you see who's off pit road, it's like, okay, well, they're going to be first, or whoever stayed out, well, they're just going to... Brad Keselowski, I didn't even mention this, Brad Keselowski won a stage by not pitting at all. The tire fall-off didn't fucking exist. That's a problem. That is a huge problem. This weekend, Goodyear just dropped the ball big time on I don't know about the trucks. I can't remember the trucks too much, but the Xfinity Series was a bit horrible with this. Same with the Cup Series. But they dropped the ball with the tire fall off. There's just so many different combos. Like the tire failures, no tire fall off, dirty air at Bristol. God. It's just so much. Brad should not be able to win a stage because all he did was stay out on 120 plus lap old tires and win a stage and no one could pass. That is ridiculous. That's just doesn't seem right. I don't know. All the other drivers on Twitter, or other NASCAR drivers, saying it's hard to pass, and others. So it's not like I'm just kind of making up assumptions. It just, that's what they're saying, the same things I am to an extent, except I'm more R-rated. But I don't know. I got nothing more to say. It's just fucking gross. 2.5. Anything higher is too much. I don't know, but I don't know. Texas next week, I would say there's a chance it could be good because it's a mile and a half, but this is not a traditional mile and a half where they butcher that, so it's probably going to suck. So we're going to have probably 2 awful races back to back. I don't know. That's going to be rough. Either way, that'll do it for me. I'll see you all later, and have a good day, everyone.